everybody. Welcome back to the Conscious Club podcast. If you're listening to this on an audio-only version, I want you to know that there is also a video version up on my YouTube. I feel really good about staying committed to the video versions whenever possible, just because I'm someone who absorbs information best when I am watching something, as opposed to just listening. And so because of that, I really enjoy when my favorite podcasts have a video option so that I could watch it. Of course, I still like listening to, the reason I don't want to make this like YouTube videos only and I still want to keep it like a podcast with an audio version as well is because I also recognize that there's other parts of my life and other times where I am listening to audio only, like when I'm in a car, traveling somewhere, or just going on walks. So anyway, I just wanted to give many different options. But if you are watching the video version, you will notice that we've got a new setup today. I am so excited about it because I just love it. I just think it looks so nice. And it just looks like nice. Yeah, beautiful, pretty. I like the aesthetics of it. Last week, Garrett and I rearranged this entire room. So the room that I film in is also my bedroom. And you would know that if you've seen other episodes when I'm filming from bed. So it's also our bedroom. And so last week I was working on something. I was actually working on this online business starter guide, which is going to be a PDF digital product. I was working on that, and there was one image that I selected for it that was a still frame from a video that I shot in 2021. And I just really liked the backdrop of that video. Like, I really enjoyed the aesthetic of that background. And I was like, oh my gosh, I remember when our room was that way. I want to get that back. And so I literally in the moment told Garrett about it, and he was like, all right, let's do it. And so we did it. We moved the bed. It's a completely different space now. It's also really great because now there's more of a distinction between my workspace and my sleep space. The bed is in a different, if you're looking at the video, there's no bed anymore in the frame anymore, because it's all on the other side of the room, and there's just a nice, clean distinction between sections of the room. There's one section that's clearly for, chill and sleep and play and watching TV, and then there's this section with my desk, and which now has a semi-permanent video recording setup, which is really, really great. But yeah, I'm really excited. I love when you commit to doing, or I love when I commit to doing something in the most easy way possible. And even though this setup, this is I feel like this is superior to what the setup was a few weeks ago when I was recording from bed and stuff. But I feel good. It just is nice that I was able to just record from bed when that felt easiest. And as that stabilized over time, it became easier to do this in a more nicely produced way. Does that make sense? This was very organic. The way that everything looks right now, I didn't have to force anything. It kind of just happened. And yeah, anyway, recording from here on this, it feels, I don't know, I might still record from bed some days, but right now this feels really easy and comfortable. Yeah, and it's just nice. It's just nice to be able to do it the way we want to do it, and then see that way evolve over time naturally without us having to force anything. But yeah, so the podcast topic that I wanted to speak on today and just explore verbally was this phrase that really dropped through for me this weekend on Saturday, and it was, your way is the right way. Your way is the right way. And this is the reason this came up really strongly in this really concrete phrase for me is because something that I have struggled with when it comes to my creativity and my entrepreneurship journey is this underlying sense of doom that the way that I'm doing it is not the right way. And because it's not the right way, then it's not going to be a fruitful, the path is not going to lead to a fruitful place, or that it's not going to work, or I'm not going to see the fruits of my labor, etc. And so it was this energy that was haunting me literally. And I feel like I've been processing it for the past few months, and many of the things that I speak about on this podcast touch on that. But on this past Saturday, I just really wanted to sit down and explore this sensation, the sensation of impending doom that I'm not doing it right. And it came through because I was just doing a journal entry where I was trying to understand what the value is in all of the work that I do, because I also noticed that there was this sensation or belief running in my mind that I'm not in control of how valuable people perceive my work to be. And upon journaling on that, I realized that it's because I didn't really exactly know consciously or conceptually what exactly the value is that I provide through my work. I know that it's impactful and that I receive reflections from other people all the time, but I never really sat down and thought about it. What is the actual core message that I am transmitting every time I open my mouth or every time I write words for a post or whatever? And yeah, what came through is your way is the right way. That's the purpose of my work. That's the purpose of my business, is to remind people that the best way for them is the way that they want to do it. And this mission, I guess, comes from just my life path and this path of having really intense expectations placed on me from my childhood, from my family, and then feeling my desires leading me elsewhere, my curiosities leading me elsewhere, my creativity leading me elsewhere, and feeling that struggle between doing what I want to do versus doing what other people want me to do. And then I feel like I moved past this exploration in that arena, when it comes to my family and family expectations and things like that. But then it's moved into entrepreneurship and just having so much information and content entering my brain at all times about how I'm supposed to do it or what the best way to do it is. This is how you grow on social media. This is how you make a YouTube video. So many how-tos from successful people who have done it in a specific way, teaching us how to do it. There's so much of that information in my brain, which has been making it hard for me to really tune into my own way, the way that I really want to do it, which led into me, I feel taking harder paths to accomplish the same thing. So for example, how in a previous episode I spoke about, I don't know if it was a previous episode or a Substack post or something, but essentially the idea of it was that make it easy as possible. If you want to do something, if you want to stabilize creating something in your life, like a podcast, and you want to stay consistent with it, make it as easy as possible. If you want to stay consistent with posting regular Instagram posts, make it as easy of a process as possible. So for so long of my journey of being a digital creator and sharing my heart and art online, I feel like I was disconnecting myself from the easiest way possible in favor of what other people told me I should be doing. And that made a lot of my processes like really complex and hard to stabilize, and me feeling like unfulfilled by them because I was doing it in a way that I didn't actually want to do it. Like, yes, I wanted to create the work, and yes, I wanted to, like I enjoyed the work that I was putting out, but I was creating it in a way that didn't feel good in the day-to-day moments. And when you are a creator, you very quickly realize that it's not even about it's not about what you create or the final product. It's like what's most impactful is how you feel on the journey of the creation process. And so if you make a creation process and you design it in a way that is not actually suited for you, and it's in a way that is suited for someone else, you're going to really feel it on a day-to-day basis, and it's going to create a lot of resistance and tension within you and around you, I feel, because for me, it invited in this sense of confusion. Like, okay, I'm so confused. Like, why do I not feel good right now with my lifestyle? Because even I'm creating every day, right? Like, I'm posting things. I really love what I'm posting, but it doesn't feel right. Like, something feels off. And it was just that. It was just like, I just had to like rearrange a lot of my processes, and I had to begin designing my creation processes in a way that was really suited to me. And then once I did that, that's when the idea that like I'm doing it wrong started, that fear started bubbling up. But it's interesting because if we do continue doing it the way that we feel like we should do it, and it's not actually the way that we want to do it, it's not going to be a sustainable process. It's not going to be the right way for us to do it. Like literally, like legit, like the right way to do it is your way, because your way is going to be the only way that is going to be sustainable long term. Because growing an online community, sharing our work online, and being able to connect with others through our work, it's a marathon. Like, it's a journey, and it takes years to, I don't know, like it's like years. It's like, I mean, you're in it for life. It's not even about like getting to any certain place, but if you're someone who's interested in doing this type of work, you're going to be doing it for the rest of your life, because you're just getting better at creating and expressing. Like, you're never going to stop expressing. So because you're doing it for the rest of your life, the only way that you can actually do it is by doing it in a way that feels right to you and makes sense to you and is nourishing to you, right? This is what I talk about in Overflow too, when we talk about avoiding burnout as entrepreneurs, especially as female entrepreneurs. I think a lot of the burnout is happening because we are, again, designing our creation processes in a way that aren't actually suited to our systems. They aren't actually suited to our unique lifestyles. Some of us are mothers. And if we try to follow like the creation process of a 30-year-old male who has no kids and maybe doesn't even have a partner, his lifestyle is so vastly different than someone like a 30-year-old woman who has 2 kids, and like, you know what I mean? The lifestyle's totally different. And so both people can create, and they are each going to create such unique, beautiful things, but each person's creation process needs to be designed and suited for them. And neither way is the absolute right way. It's just for each of the guy is not going to, like, the right way for him to create is not the way that woman who with 2 kids is creating, and the right way for that woman to create is not the same way as that man is creating. You know what I'm saying? And it's up to each of us to decide like what is the right way for us. And I feel like for me, the way that I've done that is I don't not let myself consume that type of content. Like, I really do enjoy content about strategy, and it just like fuels my brain. I like it. I enjoy it. But I have to put in a filter where when I'm intaking that content, if it feels weird in my body or if it feels like restrictive or constrictive, then I just kind of ignore it and I don't absorb it. But if I listen to a strategy and I'm like, oh, I really like the way that person's doing that, I feel like that'd be really fun for me, I just absorb that and then move on. And sometimes what happens is that I will think that a strategy or a way of doing things or a certain way to like create a process is the way that feels good for me. But then I'll do it for a while and realize like, actually, I don't really want to do it like this. Like this doesn't actually feel truly authentic to me or how I want to create. Like this doesn't actually feel sustainable. And an example of that is like when for the past few weeks I was creating reels, like Instagram reels every day. And then last week, it just like started feeling really off. And I was like, I don't really want to do that anymore. And so I shifted, I pivoted. And now I'm still going to be making reels, but I'm not going to be doing them every day in the way that I'm not going to make them like a compulsion every day. Because I feel like when I was doing that, when I was making short videos / reels a compulsion every day, I was basically limiting the mediums that I was using for my expression. So for example, if I would have a really cool thought or idea that I wanted to share with my community, I would just immediately turn it into a reel format. And I wouldn't even consider like, oh, would this idea be best? Like, do I want to share this in a Substack post? Do I want to share this in a written Instagram? Do I want to share this in a YouTube video, in a podcast? I would just go straight to reels. You know what I mean? And so that just felt like, I don't know. I want to open up my freedom of expression a little more. And so, yeah, reels are definitely not completely off the table, but that process of making reels every day, because I heard that when you like the only way to grow your Instagram in 2023 is to create a reel every day, like I'm not going to do it for that reason anymore because it's not something sustainable for me. And yeah, and sure, like actually here's the thing. So it's fun. Like I was going to say, sure, like maybe making reels every day will give you more followers. But honestly, I was going to like disprove that for myself right now, because when I was doing that, so I did it for 6 weeks straight. I made a reel every day pretty much except for weekends. And for the first 2 to 3 weeks, I definitely did gain a lot more followers on my Instagram than normal. But then around like week 4 and then 5 and 6, it just kind of stagnated. And like I was still and that's like the reason why I started feeling really off, because I was like, okay, I'm not even like, nothing's even really happening. So why am I like doing this in this way? Like it doesn't actually, why am I doing this? So yeah, it's like even that I feel like is just beginning to be disproved to us, and the real truth is beginning to be felt and experienced, where it's like it doesn't really matter what we do, it's all about the energy that we do it from. And taking action is useful because I feel like taking action moves things around in our, like if we want to bring new things or have new things change in our external reality, taking action in the external reality is what will shift those things and create those like forces, right? But then what actions we take don't matter as much because it's kind of all about like the energy that you're taking it from. Like for example, if you're taking an action, making a reel every day, but it's not actually authentic to you and it's not actually what you want to do and you feel like you're forcing yourself to do it, you're just going to make, I feel like, less quality work because there's an element of force to it. But if you just instead made reels every now and then when it actually made sense for you to make reels and when the actual inspiration was actually behind it, though the potency of those specific reels would just be amplified, and like the magnetization to those reels would just be increased. And so, yeah, your way is the right way. And yeah, that's what I realized. Like even when I was presenting as a coach that helped South Asian women deal with breaking from the expectations of their family, like I that's what I did for like when I coached clients and things for a while. And even when I was doing that, it was still the same message: your way is the right way. Your parents' way, it might have been the right way for them, but it might not be the right way for you, and you get to decide how you want to move forward in this life and how you want to live this life and how you want to create your lifestyle. So yeah, underlying everything, that's what it's always been about. And now that you know this, you'll notice that in literally every post that I share, that underlying core message is present. And it's cool. It's cool to identify that within myself, to know that the real purpose of the work, the real purpose why I desire to show up so consistently to the work and to posting and to sharing and expressing is because my work and my embodiment and my presence, it serves as a daily reminder to people that their way is the right way and that it's okay for them and that it's safe for them to do things in the way that they actually really want to do them. And yeah. Let's see if there's anything else that wants to come through today. Okay, nothing else in terms of content of this episode, but I would like to invite you, actually, wanted to start saying it like this, but this episode is sponsored by Overflow the Mystery School, which is my mystery school. I just thought it'd be fun to start using that language because I feel like there's an identity shift that comes through with using sponsorship language, even when you don't have external sponsorships yet. I just feel like it's cool to get in the mindset of someone who has a sponsorship, because realistically, my work is sponsoring me and this podcast right now. So Overflow the Mystery School, it's for women entrepreneurs. It's just a community where we hang out daily. We have pretty much daily calls. And all the information is in the description. And other than that, I invite you to connect with me on Instagram because that's where I hang out most often as well. And yeah, that's it. Thank you for listening and watching.